Hi, my name is Sister Eileen McKenzie, and I'm sorry that I can't be with you in person today, but it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you Keafon WanLainjo. Keafon and I have known each other for about 20 years when we were both members of the Bowie Family Union in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Bowie is the region of Cameroon in the Northwest Province where I used to live and where Keafon is from. Keafon is still very active in the Bowie Family Union. Unfortunately, I live in the Crosse and can't make those meetings. But over the years, we've maintained a relationship and have introduced people to each other and created a beautiful network of Cameroonians and people who are born in the United States and people from La Crosse to create a beautiful web of relationships that has nurtured a lot of beauty and justice and friendships. The FSPA has sponsored WanLainjo's West African Assistance Program for several years now through our ministry grants. And this is an incredible program that is run by West African immigrants who have been here in the United States for long enough to be very proficient in navigating the cultural differences between the systems that are operative here in the United States as opposed to West Africa. The programs and the education that WanLainjo coordinates include financial literacy, technological literacy, career development in healthcare and in business. Keafon himself has been a community advocate in working with the West African population in Brooklyn Park and the police department, particularly in the tumultuous times of riots that happened after the murder of George Floyd. He is a consultant for the Cameroon Garden in the La Crosse International Friendship Gardens, and he is a very good friend of FSPA. He's a personal friend of mine, and I am just delighted to introduce him to you. I'm sure you're going to enjoy what he has to share and find very interesting the work he is doing in the Twin Cities and all over the world. Keafon?
Okay. Can anybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Sister Eileen. Thank you, FSPA. It's a great honor for me to be here talking to you guys and presenting to you what this FSPA funding, the ministry grant, what the ministry grant has done for my organization. For the past couple of years, I've been running my nonprofit organization, as Sister Eileen had mentioned, helping African immigrants, especially those ones that are coming in from Africa with no knowledge of how things work around here in the US, and helping them just get them by. So I have a presentation that I'm going to go through. It's kind of like a PowerPoint presentation. I don't know if my screen you can share my screen. You can share your screen with me, if that's possible.
If you share your screen, we'll be able to see it.
Okay. All right, let me see. I share my screen. All right, can you see my screen now?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna pull up the presentation and I'll start. Can you see my presentation now?
Yep, we can see it.
All right, so I'm going to start from 2016, when I really started doing a lot of things to today. And I want to say a very big thank you to SFPA, because the ministry grant has just been like the foundation to everything that I do. Everything that you see here today, or everything that I present to you today, has an ingredient of SFPA. Everything that has happened to my organization, FSPA has been a supporter. SFPA has sponsored every little thing that I do. Even if I run out of money, I always make sure that FSPA money has something to do with what I've done so far. And there's no words to say thank you to the whole organization. The Franciscan sisters, you guys have just changed lots and lots and lots of life. And for that, I wanted to actually come down there in person and thank you, and personally thank you. But since we have to do this by Zoom, this is still fine. So I'll go on to the next slide. And the next slide, I'll play you guys a couple of videos of what the money that I get from FSPA has been providing. I have a lot of videos on YouTube about our programs, that I just in a matter of time consciousness. I have only 1 hour to do this presentation. I just picked a few so I can play them out so that you can see what we've been doing in the community, and as we go along, I will talk more about them. So if I can play this one, control, hang on. All right, it's coming up. Anytime. Technical. Use Chrome. It's not letting me play it. Okay. Let me do this. Let me just go online and play this from the internet. That should work, right?
Yes.
All right. Let me see. To my slide. Copy this. Copy this. Internet. And paste. All right, let's do this.
Hey, Keafon, we're not able to hear it.
Okay. Okay, not able to hear it. How do I make you guys to hear it? All right, you know what? Let's forget about the videos. I can send them, or you can share them with your colleagues. Is that okay?
That sounds great. Thank you.
All right. So let's see if we can see pictures of what your. Can you see pictures though? Let's see the pictures.
Yes.
All right, let's see pictures. All right, can you see all these?
Yes, we can see the pictures.
All right, these are every person in this picture has gone through the programs that I've offered here in the Twin Cities, and thanks to SFPA, let me say if I go one by one, let me close out of the picture here. Let me start from this one. I want to make sure that everybody can see it. If I go one by one, I want to make sure that people can see it. These are all West African immigrants that come into the US with no knowledge about computer skills. They don't know how to navigate the internet. and we put them together and we train them. We give them the tools. This is, can you see, are you guys seeing the slides though?
Yep, we can see them.
All right, these are the, this is a youth program that I do every summer. At the end of the program, we'll go to Feed My Starving Children, and the kids have fun loading boxes. We'll do, we'll feed little boxes and send them to children overseas. So that's that program. This is the computer training program, still the computer training, digital literacy program. This is graduation time. Lots and lots of all these programs have been able to, these programs have been made really, really possible by the donations or the funding that SFPA has provided to my organization. And for that, I will always be grateful. There's so many tools and so many pictures that I can show you guys, but we just have to send that to you guys so that you can go through it. Let me go through my slides so we can go, we can keep on time. Now, the goal, our mission is to guide African refugees and immigrants to their journey towards success and social equity. We do equity because everybody is equal, but there's equality in the US, there's no equity. A lot of times, a lot of African immigrants, they come here, they can have same jobs with their counterparts or with their the Americans, but they get paid less, and we advocate for that. We help them, give them the skills to get them successful and make sure that whenever they get a job, they can do it without any problems. We provide the skills and the knowledge. The financial knowledge is very important. Basic computer skills is very important. And then job search. All those three things, we combine them together and we give it to newly arrived African immigrants. Our goal is to build our goal is to build a better African lives and communities here in the Twin Cities, and kind of make it in such a way that it's more inclusive. It's more like we want them to feel like they're home away from home. We don't want them to come to the US and feel like they are strangers. We want them to feel like they're home. When they do that, then they'll be able to mine their real potentials. Most of them come here, they're still scared. They don't know how to drive. They're still scared when they see the police. So we try to integrate all these things into the society, all these things around the society, and let them know that, no, if you know this, if you approach this way, you will be very, very comfortable. If you get involved with city business, if you get involved with, you don't be afraid of the police, don't be afraid of, just follow the laws and you'll be really well. So that is our goal, to build better African lives and stronger African communities, and productive. They need to be very, very productive, So now our strategy is basically, we do vocational training. When the Africans come here, we go through vocational training with them, which is providing training, basic computer skills, Microsoft Word, Excel, nursing assistant skills. The money that comes from SFPA, every time we get funding from SFPA, we make sure we sponsor at least 2 or 3 nursing assistant professionals, because it's a very, very demanding job. It's a very, very needed job, especially after this COVID period came and went. The lack of nurses has made a lot of things more difficult for hospitals, and nursing assistants were like heroes during this pandemic, and training them, we have seen that training them is an easier way for most Africans to integrate into the system, start making some money before they start learning whatever they can do down the road, because it's an easy skill to learn, because it's a caring skill. You can easily learn to be a nursing assistant because all you do is care for people. And when you know how to care for people and follow some simple instructions, you can make a living doing that. And then from there now, you can propel your life and go ahead. We help them with financial literacy. A lot of African countries don't have the same banking system that we have here in the US. If you have ever traveled to Africa, it's just a different place. There are no credit cards, there's no ATM machines in a lot of African countries. They've never seen an ATM machine, they've never seen, basically, the only time they have a bank account is when they come to America. They live all their life in Africa, they've never had a bank account. They don't even know they don't even think about banking. But you cannot get in a society like this and you don't have a bank account. You need to make your money, you need to keep your money, you need to know how to manage your money. Those are the things that we teach most of these African immigrants that are coming into the US, especially in my community here in Brooklyn Park and the Minneapolis surrounding area. Our youth program, there's a lot of crime where I am right now in Brooklyn Park. And we started this youth program just to bring kids off the street, bring them from drugs. Like when they're off school during the summer, they're just hanging out. They don't even know what to do because they're off school. They just hang out and try to rob the stores, but if you bring them, when we bring them into a coding program, get their minds working, give them little stipends, get them pizza, they love to come. They love to come and then learn something, and they're excited when they know something. And that's some of the programs that we do. This particular program is done during the summer, and then at the end of the program, we can bring in the police department from Brooklyn Park to come and talk to the youth about crime. They can talk to them about drugs. We can talk to them about the disadvantages of doing drugs, what it can do to you, how you can get into trouble, all those stuff. We need the youth to be really aware of all what is going on around and to stay out of trouble. We're just trying to get because a lot of African youths out here. We live in Brooklyn Park where there's a lot of Liberian community and Sierra Leonean community. These people are coming from a war zone. Liberia and Sierra Leone, now including Cameroon, where I come from myself, there's war constantly going on over there. And some people have stayed home for years and they've not gone to school. So when they come here, they don't even know where to start. If they're older and they're lacking behind, it becomes a really problem. So we try to bring them, we try to give them as much as we can give them to help them go through this, go through the US with no problem. So now this is our training room. We have have this training room where we do our training computer. This is training computers. So these activities, what I did was I sectored them from 2016 to 2019. Between 2016 and 2019, everything was in class. We brought students in class. We taught them. We did everything, and then we gave them certificates. We trained them. We gave them. We did job fairs. If you looked at when I went to my here right here, this is a picture of one of our job fairs where we bring in employees. And they will bring in employers, and then we bring our students in, and they can now hire them right at the spot. Most of the people that come here are people from our programs, so we just bring them in, and they, we do like job fairs, and then they'll come in and get jobs right away, and start moving on with their lives. So let me go back to my slide. Sorry about that. So now, forward to 2019, when everything fell apart, Zoom came in. Now we're talking on Zoom, and people are still wearing masks. The pandemic is not over yet. So this is, we got on Zoom, and we started training a lot of people on Zoom. We started doing a lot of awareness on Zoom about COVID, about the vaccine. Most of the financial literacy we did was on Zoom, but it was a very difficult time. And when Zoom first started, we found out that it was really, it was a challenge for a lot of people. So being the fact that we deal with computers and we have a computer shop that we fix computers, we started coming up with all this kind of ways to facilitate and make everybody's life easier. So on the next slide, let me go to that. On the next slide, this is what we started. We started. I got an African lady because when the COVID just started, masks were not around. There were no masks, so we had to improvise. We went and got this native African. You see, these are African native masks. This is what we were doing and sharing to. This is when COVID just started. Before there's like, oh, wear mask, wear this. We were already doing this and sharing it to the community for free. We were sharing masks and talking about people to wear masks when COVID had just started. And it was and the money that we used to get all these masks, as I keep saying, most of the money that we used to get, and we got about 500 masks. Like this, we got an African tailor. She sat down, she designed the mask, and we told her to do 500, and we shared it to the community for free. And that was made possible because of FSPA funding. So that's why I keep saying FSPA has just been a lifeline for this organization. Every year SFPA sends us money. We are very, very appreciative of it. Now, another thing we did was a food shelf. We partnered with the West African Food Shelf, free food. We gave some money to them. Remember, if you can remember well, when the pandemic started, everybody was just rushing and getting toilet roll, and all the stores were empty and everything was happening like that. A lot of people were running out of money. A lot of people were losing jobs when the pandemic started. I mean, a lot of companies went under because they couldn't keep their employees because of the pandemic. So a lot of Africans who had these manufacturing jobs, they were looking for food. So luckily for us, or luckily for WanLainjo, we have a partner that does the West African Food Shelf. So we went there and we got the West African, we gave them some money. They bought a lot of West African cultured food, because where we are, you cannot just give them American food. Most of these immigrants, they're not really still used to American food. So you have to bring them food that is from West Africa, from their country, so they can feel comfortable. So we got involved in that program, and it was a very successful program. That program is still running. Now, as I told you, a lot of companies, when this pandemic started, we gave away a lot of free computers. We gave away we just sat down and we did, and this slide, I'm going to send you this presentation so you can have an opportunity to watch the videos. I'm just so disappointed that we cannot watch the videos and see what's going on. We just asked people who were having problems with their computers to get into Zoom, or if they had an old computer and it couldn't work, they can bring it to us. We'll fix it, and we had to buy parts. They will pay for the parts, but the labor was free, and we made sure that they were all on Zoom and they were all getting whatever they needed technologically wise. Then immediately after that, pandemic was even to die down. It was not even dying down. The George Floyd situation came up, and this George Floyd impact in the community was really, really real in my community. It was so scary that a lot of people in my community, a lot of West Africans in my community, were basically afraid to step out of their houses because of what the media was saying. Everybody was saying. I mean, the police department was confused. Everybody was confused. So we had to go out to the community, put the police on one side of the table, put the community on one side of the table, and said, let's talk. Let's really find out how we can coexist. Let's not just take this situation and say, okay, police is killing all Black people. Let's sit down and say, hey, what can we do to live together in harmony? So we started with partnership with the Brooklyn Park Foundation, and came up with programs that allowed us to infiltrate the community and fuse them with the police department. And that was a very, very a good program. Till today, we still have meetings with the police department. We make sure that the police is a friend to the community and not a foe, because during the George Floyd, the police became a foe. Everybody got scared of the police. Nobody wanted to do anything with the police, but we came up with programs that had to calm down and calm people down and understand that we had to live together as a community in the city of Brooklyn Park. Even though it was in Minneapolis, the Brooklyn Park was really close. We also got very involved with the census in 2020. We got very involved in the census because we figured, my organization, we sat down and we figured out that most of the decisions that are made by the government or by the police department, they do that based on the number of people that live around in a certain area. If they have to know that there's so many, because Brooklyn Park is a very diverse city, and it's the only city where Caucasians is minority, and we have a lot of Blacks in Brooklyn Park. We have a lot of Hispanics in Brooklyn Park. We have a lot of Asians in Brooklyn Park, and so if we don't get counted, we cannot get a voice. If you don't get counted, you cannot voice your opinion. You cannot go to the table and talk, because you're always going to be minority. So we got involved in the census. We promoted it very well. We asked people to go out there and vote, and that's just one of the things that we got involved in from during Corona time. And then now we have collaborators that we worked with. I mean, we know all these things that we're doing, we're not doing by ourselves. You know, we work with the West African Food Services, as I've told you. They also provide free legal services. We work with them. We work with an organization that deals with domestic violence. They're called Pumulani. We work with Andy. It's another organization that also was doing a lot of awareness conversation about COVID. The advantages, the disadvantages, why you should wear masks, why you should do vaccine. We work with Global Father Foundation. We work with Brooklyn Park Foundation. We work with all these other foundations based on the needs of the community. Sometimes the job is too much that you cannot do it by yourself. So you have to look for somebody who you can share the load with. And this is how we do, that's how we get to do collaboration. So and plus we don't even have enough money to do what is needed in the community. We just have the little money that we get. And then if we see that the need is too much, then we can go approach one of our collaborators and say, look, I mean, you guys are probably bigger than us. You have a need. Let's work together on this project and see how we can help the community. At the end of the day, our mission is to get make African communities better than what they used to be before. So that's what we will strive with, and make Africans to be more respectful and successful. So now, how do we get money? Who gives us money? SFP is number one. This is the fact. SFPA is the only organization that gives us money yearly. That's the only organization that sponsors us. This, the Brooklyn Park Rotary and the Lions Club, they also give us money, but not as much. The city of Brooklyn Park gives us money, but not as much. Minneapolis Foundation gives us money, but not as much. How you see it on this list, this is how we get money. And the money that SFPA gives us is just our lifesaver, you know. But now, as a non-profit, if you when you dedicate your life to helping others, you have to figure out how to do that without, without stressing it out. So coming from a sales background, and when I left my job to come and start this organization, I knew what I was getting myself into. So I devised a means of how to raise money, which has really worked well for me. So these are other funding sources. Over 90%, or let's say 80% of our revenue to run all our programs will come from computer sales and repairs. We do computer sales and repairs, and we do it at a very, very low rate because of the community we are. We go out there, we source our computers, we bring it into house, we repair them, we sell them at a very, very low rate. And all the proceeds that come from those repairs, that is what fools our bills. That's how we actually survive. If we didn't have this part of the business, we would not really be doing much. We have done much in the community, from money from the SFPA and computer sales. Those are the two main revenue stream source that we have. We have personal donation, and then my family also gives money support. My family supports a lot, and it's a big thanks to SFPA for always sending us money to support our programs. I'll keep saying that. So I also have some numbers for you. From 2016 to 2017, the number of people that we serve, and then all the way to 2019 to 2022. 2019 to 2022, we didn't really keep specific track because, you know, we were just like, we have a Zoom meeting and we have a lot of people show up, and we'll not keep track of what was going on. But now that things are coming back to normal, we're actually starting 2023, and, you know, with, you know, keeping track as we used to do. We used to do that before. So heading to 2023, our goal for 2023 is to get more CNAs, get more people doing CNA job. We have come to realize that it's a very needed profession, especially it's easier for an African immigrant to walk into the US with no skills, very limited language skills, and get trained as a CNA and start working immediately because of the high demand for the high demand that is out there for the job market. Our goal is to get them from point A to point B. We don't want them depending on the system. We don't want them being a liability to the US economy or to the city or the state or federal government. We don't want them to. Well, we don't want them to do that. Our youth program, we also want youth to be, you know, empowered. We need to. We're always constantly empowering youth. But now that things are opening, we start all these programs again. Now, if you ask me, we have done all these things. What is our staff? All these things that we've done is only done by 4 people, including me. That's 3 people plus me, 4 of us. And I'm the only person that works full-time on this. All the other 3 people work part-time. They come in as I need them. The computer technicians, the outreach coordinators, if I need them to come in, I have to sit down and strategize and get them to come in. Now, we also want to introduce an advanced computer training system where people that have done the basic training computer system, because a lot of Africans come here and they're coming with very smart brains, and we don't want them to take those smart brains and just focus on the CNA, but we also want them to get into IT, advanced IT, we do Scrum Master training, database management training, all the skills that people that have already been educated back in Africa, because a lot of them come here too, they're very educated. Some of them are not, but some of them come with degrees and master degrees, and then you need to look for a way to put them in such a way that they don't feel like they're going backwards instead of going upwards. Now, we took some of the SFPF money and we started a tech hub. It's called WanLainjo Tech Hub. We started this in Nigeria. The reason we did that was because the war in Cameroon affected so many people, and they ran into Nigeria. And originally, I'm from Cameroon, and all my relatives and my friends and people from my village, they ran into Nigeria, and they're just there roaming around, nothing to do. So we started a program over there where we can help them, give them some IT skills, and get them, working like the people that can work remotely from Nigeria and get jobs from here and send them down there to work. And then we need volunteers. We always need volunteers. Volunteers are always needed as as a non-profit. You don't have a lot of money. You always need to go out there and ask people to come and help, especially people who see with our vision. And we have a lot of people that see with our vision, and we have a lot of volunteers that come in to help us do whatever we do. But that's always a challenge too sometimes, because everybody's busy doing one thing or the other. So now, do we have any questions for me before I go ahead?
So I guess there are two different groups, immigrants and refugees. How many do you get coming to the United States each year? I know that fluctuates, and how many and how much notice do you have when people are coming into the United States?
Well, immigrants and refugees are people mostly that are coming from war. We don't have numbers. I cannot give you specific numbers, but what we do is we deal with community leaders. In order for us to know what is needed in a community, we work with community leaders. So what we do is we go to community meetings and they will tell us that, okay, we have some refugees that have just come in. Like presently, the last meeting that I went to, the refugees from what is this place that's Ukraine, the Ukrainian refugees right now, but I'm not dealing with Ukrainian refugees, you understand? So, because I need to understand the cultures. I don't have like specific numbers. I just have numbers of how many people I can go and pick from there and bring to my organization and help. I can only pick so much because there are other organizations around town that are doing the same thing like I'm doing. The bigger organizations, there's Lutheran Social Services. Those are the people that you can get those numbers from, because they are a bigger organization, and when these refugees come in, they know how many refugees are coming in. They work directly with the government. For WanLainjo, we don't really have numbers. We're just open to anybody who walks up to us and say, hey, I just came in. You fill an application, and then we sign you up for a program, whatever program you want to do. Does that make sense?
Yes. And then one other question is with the CNAs, do you have places where I guess everybody wants CNAs, but are there specific places where you regularly get job placements?
Yes, we work with employers. So we have a lot of employers that has given us the information. Once we train them, as we're training them, as we're doing graduation, they will just come in during like graduation time and they will just recruit. Once they come in, they recruit. So normally they recruit and wait for them to go do the board exam, because they have a board exam that they have to do for the state to become state certified. So once you're done and you're state certified CNA, so you're certified nursing assistant, you don't get called a certified nursing assistant until you don't get that board. Once you get that certificate now from the state, you're ready to work. There's a lot of need when it comes to that. Does that answer your question?
Yes, we could use some down here at St. Rose Convent.
Yes, it's a very, very demanding. I mean, we would and the good thing about our program is that not only do they do CNAs, because I guess in the hospital, if you work in the hospital setting, you're gonna be a CNA, and then you need to input data in the computer once you're done doing your cares. You have to put data in the computer. So we merge the two programs. So you come through the computer program, or you go through the CNA program at the same time going through the computer program. So when you're done, you have two skills. You know how to put data in the computer, or you know how to navigate around the computer, and then you have the CNA skills. And then when you get hired, you don't have a problem, because at the end of every shift, you have to sit on the computer and do your chatting and tell the nurse what happened, or the administrator what happened, the kind of things you do, the kind of medications you gave, all that stuff, how the behaviorals for the patient, stuff like that. Does that make sense?
Yes. All right, those are the questions that we have. Did you have more that you would like to share with us?
Okay, now this is what I want to share with you is the relationship between WanLainjo, or the relationship between Lanjo and the Franciscan sisters. You know, before we had scheduled this a meeting, I told you I was going home for a funeral. I think I was talking to you, and you know, we kept no, was it what that's what? Yeah, I was talking to you, I think, and we kept pushing the date. So when I went home to bury my uncle, because the person that died was actually my uncle who raised me, and well, who financially raised me, but the person that actually raised me was my grandfather as my dad. So, and then I started telling them that about I met one of my I think it's a relative cousin, and it was a sister, it was a reverend sister, and Sister Mali, and I was like, oh yeah, the Franciscan sisters are doing this, they've done this for me, look at what they're doing for me. And then he was like, she said we had a relationship, and I thought I shared that with you guys so that you know. When I looked at it, I was just like, this is not really happening, because you know God works in mysterious ways. So what the next slide I will show you is the 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 San Franciscan sisters celebrated 75 years in Cameroon, I think this year or last year, I don't know when happened. And they did a program from if I'm right, from Babisi to Shishon. So the program that was done from Babisi to Shishon was in honor of my father's uncle. My father's uncle was the catechist when the Franciscan sisters got to Babisi. They spent the night at his place, and then before he helped them get them from Babisi to Shishon. So, and he was a catechist, and he was the how will I say it? He was the guardian of my father. So my father was a little child at that time, who was a guardian of my father, who later became a politician. When I say my father, at the same time is my grandfather, because my grandfather. So my father, which is my grandfather, which is WanLainjo, if you can see from the screen, I kind of wrote it down so you guys, you can read it and try to understand. But if I summarize it, this is how I summarize it. Catechist Thomas was uncle to and guardian to WanLainjo. WanLainjo was father and grandfather to me, which is Keafon Lanjo, and I'm the one that founded the WanLainjo, which WanLainjo stands for Children of Lanjo, which basically means a child without a problem. In the Saw language, Kumbo, where I come from, we speak the Saw language. So in the Saw language, WanLainjo means a child without problem, but it stands for a son of Lanjo. Does that make sense? So that's what I wanted to share. So, and then I just thought it was very mysterious that we came to do this together. The Franciscan sisters have just been blessing my organization and supporting me on the good jobs that I've been doing, and sponsoring me all this while. And that's all I needed to say. And then I wanted to conclude by saying that there's an African proverb that my father used to say, and maybe he read it from somewhere. It's like, when you live to improve lives, your lives automatically improve. And I pray and hope that it will be the same for SFPA, because you know, the organization has improved a lot of lives, you know, and I hope that the SFPA keeps improving and improving and improving. There's some videos that I wanted to also show, that of Sister Eileen, and I think it's Sister Eileen and Sister Romana that came up here and you know, saw what we were doing. I don't know if I play from my computer. Let me see if I can try to play it from my computer, because when I tried to play the one online, it didn't show. Let me see if I try to play for my computer. I also wanted to show you guys that video. Let me see if I can play for my computer here. It was very interesting that I saw that video and I was like, wow, this has been a good job. This is, let me see. Can you guys hear it?
I'm Sister Marla. I'm an FSPA. And could you just show the picture where Sister Eileen is on?
Can I just show the?
Oh, you got something going, so do that first.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to. The camera was kind of, but it's gonna adjust itself. It's kind of twisted. That's Sister Eileen when she came out to the organization up here in Brooklyn Park. So that was. I hope you guys heard the video. Was it loud enough?
Could I just butt in for a minute?
Sure.
Okay, I'm Sister Marla and I'm FSPA. I'm here in La Crosse right now, but I was one of the first FSPA. I was the first FSPA to visit Cameroon back in, I think it was 1996, or no, probably 1997. I'm not sure anymore of the exact date when Sister Anna invited me to come over and to become acquainted with the community there and to see if we could possibly develop a relationship with Cameroon. And so when I went there, Eileen was a nurse in the nursing school. She was teaching there as a layperson. Later on, she became an FSPA. And so I just wanted to make some connections with some of the very early history. And after I went there and was excited by the possibilities of working together with the sisters in Cameroon and us here in La Crosse, a number of our sisters went over to Cameroon. I think maybe at least 35 sisters at one time or another over a course of 20 years went to Cameroon. And I think I could safely say about 45 of the sisters in Cameroon came over here to the United States for various forms of education that we have helped them with here. And so I'm excited to see how you are working with people from Cameroon who are leaving the country and coming to the Twin Cities. Is that it?
Yes.
And that you're working with them so that their skills can help them to become successful people wherever they choose to live. So I was just excited by all of that. And it gives my heart a lot of warmth to know some of the developments that have happened over those years. So it's amazing. So it was around 1977 that I met Sister Anna and we started the journey of seeing what we could do to collaborate as Franciscan sisters. They are Franciscan sisters and so are we, yeah. Okay?
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I could go on for, I could go on for a long time, but I know time is limited, so I'll leave it at that, all right?
Sure, and I want to also thank you. I mean, everything that you see that I presented, all the pictures that you see that I presented, it couldn't have been possible if not for the Franciscan sisters of Perpetual Adoration. It's just amazing how much one, a thought, or how much just a kind gesture can change lives. I do this job not because I want to become rich. It's just because I want to be rich in heart and in spirit. I'm really, really happy for what I do and I take home. And trust me, FSPA is just gives me a lot of joy. Just gives me a lot of joy. And I wish that God bless you guys all and keep blessing you guys for whatever, however you do it, wherever the money is coming from. I just hope the money should just be coming more and more for you guys to do whatever you do. You've changed a lot of lives in Cameroon, and now you're changing lives again in the United States.
Thank you. And we are most grateful for the relationship that has developed. It's way beyond our dreams. At least I know I'm just a farm girl from the Wisconsin area, and I never dreamt I would dream into that either. And I guess God just has ways of working us all together in ways that are beautiful. Thank you.
Exactly. Amen to that. Amen. Thank you. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Keafon. If you want to send me the information on the videos, I'll make sure that I share those as well.
Yes.
And
I'll send
again,
Mhm.
yep. So again, this recording will make it available to the sisters and the staff
Yep.
and the affiliates.
I'll send you the PowerPoint, and now I wish to thank everybody down there in La Crosse. I wish I was there. I used to love coming down there when there was no COVID and when we had the Cameroon things going on. We love to come down there and dance with the sisters and have dinner with the sisters. It was really some fun time. I miss all those, and I hope things open up and we can start doing that again. I just missed it.
Well, thank you, Keafon. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you.